Hey drama lovers, welcome back to Drama Lovelies, where we unwrap the wildest, most addictive drama storylines. If you are new here, you are in for a ride. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today, we are continuing with the second episode of our ongoing rom-com, Would You Marry Me? So let's get started. Now the second episode starts with Vushu having a nightmare of an accident that happened years ago with him when he was a child. The accident that took his parents' life. In his dream, he sees that there's a car crash with a truck, that's his parents' car and a truck's crash, and a moving shadow after they have fallen off the bridge. So this shows that this accident would not just be a mere car accident and natural death. There's something more behind his parents' death. Wooden jerks away the more he tries to remember that person's name and wakes up panicking. And that's where we find out that he's actually running on medications because he takes anxiety pills. Vijay then gets a call from Mary, who asks him to meet at the coffee shop. Now here, Vijay's thinking that she's asking him out to pay for the hospital bills, the compensation bills and stuff. But when he reaches there, Mary literally wastes no seconds and directly goes straight to her conversation. She's like, "Are you married? If no, be my husband." Exactly. She directly proposes to him that, be my husband, like fake husband. When she explains the situation, he immediately calls it a scam and dismisses her proposal. Now this awkward rejection also makes the relationship more complicated, more strained. Like till now, we wouldn't even call it a relationship because they have met just twice. And both the times it was awkward from Mary's side, unfortunately. Now this Mr. Kim Woo-joo doesn't only reject her offer, he literally warns her that if she gets involved in these fraud activities, he will definitely show up at the department store, but not to support her. Instead, he will expose her in front of the entire department store that she is a scam. Now in this part, we're introduced to 4 new characters on the drama. We have the CEO of Myeonsungdang and Wooju's grandma, Miss Gopal Neon. Then we have Wooju's aunt, Myeon. We have Wooju's cousin and Myeon's son, Yongsoo. And then we have Jang Hanju, who is the CEO's son-in-law. Now Hanju is the son-in-law of the CEO and also the chief financial officer at Myeonsungdang. Like he handles all the funding matters of the company. Now Gopal Neon, that is Wooju's grandma, announces that Wooju will be joining this company, replacing Yongsoo as the head of the marketing team. Later on in the story, Wooju visits Jinkyong to meet her at the hospital, and while they were taking a stroll talking, a little girl stumbles and her stuffed toy falls off her hand. Wooju quickly bends to pick her toy and give it to her, and that's when a nostalgic memory flashes through his mind. When he was young, after that car accident that took his parents' life, there was a man and his daughter who had helped Wooju survive. Now that young girl gave him a stuffed toy which had helped Wooju throughout his life. Now this moment fills him with bittersweet nostalgia about the young girl who had helped him survive, and also because she was his first crush and yet he doesn't know anything about that mysterious girl. Across the city, the same night, some realtors force entry inside Mary's house to take measurements for the upcoming renovation. They inform her that the renovation will start in just a week, which means she has a week left to vacate the place or else she'll be sued for trespassing. Mary is of course disheartened and she just has no way out of the situation. So she goes out of the place to take a little stroll where her mom calls her and informs her about her sister doing well in the US. Now we know that Mary also has a sister who is working in the US. Mary's mother asks her about when the wedding's gonna happen, the plans and stuff. And now she realizes that she has to at last tell her mother about everything about the wedding not happening. So she promises to visit her soon. The next day, Wooju starts as the new head of the marketing team at Myeonsungdang. His uncle Hanju introduces him to the team members, but his first meeting itself turns tense because Yongsoo plays a card here. He had intentionally hidden an important information from Wooju and now is accusing him of negligence. So basically there's this meeting discussing about the marketing strategy of a new product. And here Yongsoo says that when he was the team leader, he had taken single-use rights from the design company and not permanent right on the design. And now he accuses Wooju of neglecting such an important issue because this would raise copyright infringement in the future. Wooju is ordered by Miss Gopal Neon to handle this promptly, and so he does. He asks them to schedule a meeting with the design company. Now he doesn't know that the design company is actually Mary's company, Mary Design Studio. Now, one of the team members of Wuchu contact Mary to ask for the price for the permanent rights on the design. Mary presents 5 times the price, 50 million won. She knows it's unreasonable, but the reason why she did that so because Yongsu has called her beforehand itself and told her to ask 5 times the original price. Of course, because he wants Wuchu to land in trouble and lose the position. Elsewhere, at the beauty department store, Sangyeon is being ill-treated by his so-called lazy CEO Sangwoo because of losing the townhouse to a normal couple instead of the mayor's son and daughter-in-law. And Sangyeon assures him that he is working on withdrawing the prize from them. This part also shows that Sangyeon is not living a very respectful life because he's very mistreated by his CEO, and there's a reason why he's so mistreated, which will be revealed in the upcoming episodes. On the other hand, Mary gets a message from Mr. Kyon from Beauty Department Store that she has to be present there with her husband to win the townhouse. So now, Mary, because the good Kim Woo-joo has rejected her offer, she decides to ask help from the bad Kim Woo-joo's family. So she reaches there, where his mom and sister lives. But those two people throw a lot of insults at her mom, call her names. So after all the insults, Mary decides that she would not ask help from them again and leaves the place. There she gets a call from Songgi that the team leader himself wants to meet Mary to discuss about the permanent rights on the design. Now even Mary doesn't know that the team leader is the good Kim Woo-joo. Now she's at Myeongseong-dang, and there in the washroom she overhears a conversation between two colleagues where they discuss that this deal is very vital for them. So of course they're ready to pay anything for it. And later, she is shocked to realize that the good Mr. Kim Woo-joo is the team leader. And we know how smart Mary is. She's not gonna let this opportunity slide. So, in exchange of the permanent rights of the design, she asks him to pretend to be her fake husband for a day and meet her at the beauty department store. Woo-joo first disagrees, but then, because he has a lot of pressure from Ko Bil-yeon and also because he had made a bet with his cousin Yong-soo, and of course he cannot let his reputation down. So he agrees to be her fake husband for a day. Woo-joo joins Mary at the beauty department store the following Saturday. At first they thought that this is going to be just a quick take the key and the pretend will be over. But no, they soon realized that there is going to be a press release, a huge thing, and there's going to be a photo shoot with the CEO for the PR stunt. Before coming here, Mary has prepared a full list of questions that she had given to Woo-joo to memorize, because if anyone asked them questions about their married life and stuff, he would be able to answer. And there is an interview that takes place. Mr. Kyon asked them some questions about their marriage life, how they met, when they got married, stuff. And Woo-joo answers everything like perfectly, and that makes Mary wonder, okay, he's a genius. Now during this interview, Mr. Kyon gets suspicious of them and starts observing them closely. Now to avoid being found out, Woo-joo, being the genius he is, uses his brain with a quick idea. He fakes a phone call and tells that he has caught African encephalitis because he had traveled abroad just a few days earlier. Now his quick thinking actually works because Mr. Kyon gets scared of this fake disease and he stops the interview midway, and when Woo-joo asks for a face mask to cover their face during the photo release, Mr. Kyon also agrees to that. Now these two people actually successfully are able to pull out this stunt, and they also request the department store people to use pseudonyms instead of real names so that the relatives don't get involved. Woo-joo intends to leave early and he tells Mary that she can go on her own way after collecting the key and stuff. Mary does the same thing. She goes to collect the key from Sangyeon alone, and there she also signs a paper without reading it. Now when Sangyeon was just about to drive Mary to her new townhouse, Woo-joo also runs into them. Even though he was supposed to leave earlier, he couldn't do that. And now, because he has faked having a disease, and now both Mary and Woo-joo lie that he's supposed to go to the hospital to get himself rechecked. And Sangyeon offers him a drive to the hospital. Now they make some excuses about the hospital being in this direction and the townhouse being the other direction and stuff. Now Woo-joo knows that if he actually goes to the hospital, it will reveal that there is no real illness at all. So he quickly removes his mask and is like, I'm all okay, let's go to the townhouse. Sangyeon drives them to the townhouse, where Mary is actually very excited when she's seeing the Beauty Palace, a luxury posh area, but Woo-joo doesn't seem much affected because of course it's the chaebol here. Now when these three reach the townhouse, Sangyeon asks them if they need some new furniture or furniture exchange, but Mary says that they don't need anything else because she will be anyway selling the house since it's very far from their workplaces. But Sanghyun reveals that the contract she had earlier signed without reading clearly states that she cannot sell this house for 3 whole months. Now, which means she has to live here with her husband for 3 whole months before selling it. And another thing is that if Mary and Vuju ended up getting divorced within these 3 months, the house will be withdrawn from them. Now, the problem doesn't end here because Sangyeon informs them that there would be frequent visits from the department store employees just to make sure that the contest rules are followed. But in their case, it doesn't have to happen that way because the big problem, Sangyeon lives right in front of the townhouse, like it is Vuju Mary's townhouse and Sangyeon's townhouse. And this leaves both of them in utter panic and shock. And we all know that since the department store people already want to withdraw the price from them, so Sangyeon will try everything to find any loophole in them following the contest rules. After Sangha leaves, there's a small fight between Vuju and Mary because Vuju has had enough at this point and he doesn't want to get involved in this scam anymore. So he leaves Mary alone at the townhouse and walks out of the place. But then he realizes that his tone of talking to her was not very good. So he calls her to apologize, and while on a call, he runs into Myeon and Yongsoo, who were on the way inside the Butte Palace to meet an influential person living here. At the same moment, Sanghyun also walks in and casually asks Vuju about where his wife Mary is. Yongsoo and Myeon overhear Sanghyun referring to someone as Vuju's wife, and of course they are gonna make it their life mission to do anything to spoil Vuju's perfect boy image in front of his grandma. The episode ends on a comical note where their web of lies are almost about to expose in front of Sangyeon and his relatives as well. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Until next time, keep watching, keep feeling, and remember, here at Drama Lovelies, the drama never ends.